already live.
We live, brother. We live. Hey, a good afternoon, Facebook friends and family. I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Gerard Hell. Gerard and I, we met in the Army back in 1994. No, 90.
No, 1990, yeah.
1990.
Fresh out of high school.
Right out of high school. We went to AIT together. I was in Bravo 210. You went to basic training in
Alpha 310.
Alpha 310. We was down in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Alpha Bulldog.
But we didn't really meet until AIT in Fort Lee, Virginia. And then we got stationed together at Columbia, South Carolina. And for about 2 years, he was working at the 1st Brigade S4. And I was working down in the unit, and then I got transferred to the unit, and Gerard and I actually got a chance to work together and run the unit together. So we have been friends for a very long time, and we've shared a ton of experiences together, always been in and out of each other's lives. So my main purpose here to do, what I want to accomplish today is talk with you about accomplishing some dreams, but I'm going to just talk with Gerard and talk with him about his experiences of, starting businesses, using his thoughts, his imagination, setting goals, how people have helped him along the way in his business, in different businesses, and just try to offer some advice, maybe, some insight into starting a side business and how it's been beneficial to him and his family. So with that said, I'm going to just start off, and we're going to, right now, Gerard, we're going to start off with one of his businesses, and we'll let him tell us how it got started. He's a photographer in the Atlanta area. He's been featured in the Essence magazine, and I'll just give you a little bit of a hint, or I steal it from him before he gets to share it with you, is he's self-taught. He taught himself to be a photographer without any instructions, and I'll share more with that about you. So with that said, Gerard, if you'll kind of maybe share with us how you got started in the photography business.
Well, it was really something that was accidental. I had at the time when I moved to Atlanta, I had a girlfriend who was a photographer, and my sister, who also lives in Douglasville, Georgia, was also a photographer. I've always liked to take pictures, but I had never really thought about, taking pictures myself, taking pictures of people. I was always in the pictures. Mm-hmm. So just hanging out in the Atlanta scene, a lot of you may know that before I moved to Atlanta, I was the owner of a mortgage company. And so after everything went bad in 2008, my goal was just plain have fun. I didn't want to do anything serious again. I didn't want to come here and get back into the real estate business or the mortgage business. I had one goal. At the time I was single and I wanted to have fun. So that's kind of how I started. I would be out taking pictures, and they would come out pretty good. And just to make a long story short, I would start getting offers to come take pictures. And my sister, when I was visiting her in DC, I was just talking in casual conversation. I was getting really interested in photography, and I was telling her that I wanted to, at some point, buy me a DSLR camera, to get a little bit more serious about it. And she was like, you know what? We got a DSLR camera in the closet that we don't use. It's Christmas. Here you go. Merry Christmas. Boom. That was a Sony camera, so that kind of started it and kind of lit that fire, and I've been on fire ever since. Now I'm in the Nikon family, full frame Nikon, and pretty much, so that's how it got started. And then, so being self-taught, I was able to just do my research, learning from other photographers, other Atlanta photographers, and able to get a little bit better. For a long time, I didn't even call myself a photographer. I would show up and they would say, oh, so you're here to take pictures? I was like, yeah, you're a photographer. I was like, I'm the guy here to take pictures. Because I knew I had a lot of work to do. And I did a lot of free events to get started and to get my name out there, to make friends and things like that. And it kind of just snowballed from there. But at some point, I did become confident with the craft, and to where I show up now and I actually am the photographer. Totally confident in saying that now. Totally self-taught. Photography is a competitive business. You may see photographers fighting and beefing online or critiquing pictures, and I've never been that type of person. I've always been, the type of photographer that wanted to learn and also help other people. Now, if you ask me for feedback, I'll give it to you, but I'll shoot it to your inbox or something like that. I will never get nasty with you. And so But so that's pretty much how I got started. Taught myself a lot of YouTube videos, going out, trial and error, and it's pretty much snowballed to where I am today. The way this relates to what Mike is doing, he talks about creating a side hustle and getting financially independent. So photography did become a side hustle for me, but it became so lucrative until it's been able to take up the slack, pay bills, pay mortgage payments. When me or my wife is out of work, is able to take up the slack and make up the difference to keep everything afloat. So sometimes your side business can become more lucrative than your primary income or your primary job. So if you have any talents, if you're thinking about doing something, if you're thinking about starting something on the side, definitely look at it, learn it, and go for it. I would say go for it.
Sure, cool. So with that said, when we start talking about a little bit about the Live Bootcamp, it's some of it is awareness. It's figuring out what your strength zone is, what some people may call your genius zone. And of course, everybody should try to operate in your genius zone. And I call it a wheelhouse. And the wheelhouse is the place in the batter's box that you have the best chance of hitting a home run. And so there's a lot of strikes that's going to come across the strike zone. I mean, there's just a lot, but not all of those that's in the strike zone is your pitch. And I had to learn that every pitch that's in the strike zone is not the one that you have the best chance of hitting a home run. And you'll know your pitch. So you got to get to know yourself a little bit to know what's in your wheelhouse. So when I take a look at Gerard, and he has this ability to understand technical stuff from an IT perspective. So he started building computers, just anything that was technology related, he had that ability to understand in a very in-depth way. As I was listening to him talk with another friend about all the details of ISO and all of the camera settings, he has this amazing ability to really focus in on something, learn it not from just the surface level, but a very in-depth level, and just practice until he masters it. So he taught himself to play the guitar. I remember when he first started playing, he went out and bought a cheap guitar, and he started to just strum away, and he started to play the guitar. And now he's starting to teach himself to play the piano. So what does that mean? So what it means is that if you really want to take a look at really starting a side business, you figure out what's your strength zone. And it's something that you do really well, something that you do already, that people tell you that you do, girl, you ought to bake these cookies or cakes, or you do really good with that. If you like cutting grass, if you already have all the equipment, I mean, you could just easily, get you 4 or 5 yards in the neighborhood, and boom, you got yourself $500-600 a month.
Easy. Pressure washing,
whatever the case is if you just love people. He said, well, I just love people. Well, you could start a respite care business, or if you tutoring, if you're great with math, if you do music and do music lessons, or Uber, you got a car, you're paying a car note on, and you want to make it pay for itself. It's that very, and so I have a technique that the Live Bootcamp is not about the side business, but it's the foundation to help you prepare for the side business. So I have a technique that actually help you to identify through your imagination and creativity to really get you moving in a side business. So with that said, I'm going to turn to Gerard in just a minute now, and I'm going to ask you a question, because of course COVID-19 is here, and we're all now trying to figure out how can we make some changes in order to to keep our businesses running. So with that, in the photography business, how has COVID-19 affected your photography business? Mm-hmm. And then how have you used your creative imagination to try to solve the problem, to get you around that problem with it?
Right. So with COVID-19 and photography, and I do a lot of weddings, so it just brought everything to a screeching halt. A lot of venues closed down. They're struggling as well because you can't have gatherings. So all the venues were closing down, postponing weddings. So a lot of that business got pushed to later in the year, maybe even canceled. So you have a situation where you're actually issuing refunds to be accommodating as best you can. So to be creative, what I've done is I've jumped back into the video section of my business. I began to start to edit more videos. I'm developing the RioPix portion of the real estate photography, and that's going really well. And so we're standing that business up right now. So that's one of the things I did, was try to create another stream, something I can go out and do that doesn't take a whole lot of time. So we got the drones on deck now, and we've got the wide lenses for the photography and the perfect lighting to be able to light these properties and get the type of images that real estate companies are looking for to be able to market these properties.
So the Rio part of the business is specifically what?
It's specifically real estate and video. For real estate companies.
For real estate companies,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So as a way of offsetting the loss of the traditional ways of, weddings, you moved over to real estate.
Right, and don't get me wrong, it still hurts to lose that business.
Right.
And standing up another segment of business is going to take some time and some marketing to be able to see the fruits of what you're going to see long term. But in the short term, it's something that you can do to mitigate some of the losses and make things a little bit better. And hopefully, so on the other end, we'll come out a lot better once everything starts to open back up. And I've already seen a tick up. I've actually booked a couple of weddings within the last week or so. I did a couple of private parties, so the photography, I'm getting the calls again, everything is picking back up. But also, the real estate thing is there as well, which is also fun. So.
And it's another another side,
Yep.
another additional stream of income. So, with that said, I remember when you first began to get into the photography business. I was actually down in Atlanta visiting with you, and we started talking marketing, and we was talking about Facebook ads and all of that stuff. And but earlier, we were talking a little bit, and we was talking about how people have helped you with your photography business. So if you would just share a little bit about your tribe of people that's working on your behalf.
Well, I do have a tribe, and that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. So when I think about people like Kevin K. Reeves with the group Honest Announcements, is kind of where I cut my teeth and was exposed to a large Atlanta circle that really have supported my business. I mean, I can't even count or even name the people that I've done some type of photography for in my Atlanta circle. Also, shout out to Vincent Coakley, another photographer that was doing a lot of event photography, and he's an Atlanta socialite. He's everywhere all the time. He's kind of took me under his wing several years ago, gave me business. Whenever he couldn't do a gig, he would send me the gig. Sometimes he would say, I need another photographer, Gerard, come help me with this gig. But he would give me the game, exposed me to a whole nother circle of people, just kind of like Kevin K. Reed. And man, the people that supported me, I've made lifetime friends in Atlanta. Atlanta has really become my town, and I really appreciate you guys. But you can't, and also sometimes I'll post something, and I'll say, hey guys, help me get to a certain number of likes, or if you know anybody looking for this, please share my details with them. Ever so often, I'll reshare my website. I'll have friends that'll share it. That's very important because my friends have trusted me enough that I'm confident enough to be able to share my business website with their friends. I mean, and that's huge. And also my church as well, Elam Church. They've also shared my stuff and had me do things for them as well. So asking your friends to help you out, your tribe, your circle, your sphere of influence, so to speak, is very important. I remember when I was in real estate, they told me that if you get in real estate, if you can't write 100 names on a piece of paper and call all of those people on the phone and call you by first name and they say your name back, you have no business being in real estate because you don't have no circle. I absolutely do not have that problem in Atlanta, and that's one of the main reasons, if not the reason, for any success I've had with photography is that circle of influence and my friends in Atlanta. Shout out to you guys.
Right. So I brought up the supporting tribe because as a small business owner, it's going to be very difficult to make this happen without people recommending you for your product and service, for people just willing to support you with, hey, I've had so many people from the fitness business that has recommended this business, but in addition to bring in water, Kelly, people, they bring in and drop off products. I just met Candace Oliver. I was looking for some cleaning supplies to make sure I can keep the gym clean. Now, I brought up that because that is a part of the Live Boot Camp, because you do need a tribe of people to support you. But there's another final product that's in the Live Boot Camp that talks about a winning, pleasing personality. And so we were talking earlier, it's like, you can't be a barber without somebody's hair to cut. You can't be a photographer without someone's pictures to take, or somebody willing to at least buy them, even if you're doing scenery type photography. You can't be a personal trainer without someone to train. So that attitude or that connection that you're able to form with people is often what makes them say, when they sit down and meet with you or talk to you on the phone, that I'm choosing you to be my photography, not photographer, not just based on the pictures or the quality of pictures, but actually this connection and attitude that you bring to the table. So, you know, in the Live Bootcamp, there's like 20 questions that we go through to see where your weak areas are, to figure out in terms of what you need to really show up, bring to raise in order to have that type of attitude. You know, one of them is confidence. So, and as Gerard talked about earlier, is like, you know, I used to show up and say, hey, I'm just here to take the pictures. Because at that point, he didn't have the confidence to call himself the photographer. And if you came just to show up to take the pictures, guess what? You can only charge as a picture taker. You don't have the confidence to charge as a photographer. So you're not going to ask for, you know, really, you know what your worth is already. So you got to really take the time to really practice that skill in order to get so good at it that you're willing to say, hey, okay, now I'm a photographer and this is my cost. So yeah, so having that personality that people want to connect with. And I've been around Gerard and hung out a lot of times for celebrations down in Atlanta. And he has, you know, this really large tribe of people, and they're really fun to hang out with. So I can easily see how your personality lends itself to kind of help build your business up.
Right.
So if you want
let me say this. So yeah, as far as what your personality is and your sphere of influence, keep in mind that you will get business, whatever business you decide to start, you will generate some business on the strength of who you are, who you know, and that you're a good person. But what I would encourage you to always remember as you're learning this craft, if you're not already proficient in that craft, make sure at some point you become competent in your work. Because at some point you're going to have to be competent, and that's you're going to destroy your business. You may get the business because you're a good business person. Maybe you're a good salesperson. Maybe you just have a real pleasing and bubbly personality, and that will get you in the door a lot of times. But at the end of the day, what you want to remember is that your work is going to need to be competent. So take time to study your craft, become proficient, so that you can be confident and competent at the end of the day to charge the fees that you're worth. Okay?
Cool. All right, guys, so we're not going to keep you on here much longer. I do want to say that Gerard came down so that we can hang out, and we got a chance to get out on the lake yesterday and
try to kill me.
do some kayaking.
Try to kill me.
We got some bike ride there, just trying to get some work done. But we were supposed to get together in March because I was going to do the Live Bootcamp for a warm audience, and he was going to come down and take pictures for me and do some videos to help me with some marketing material for this next dream of my life. And of course, we didn't get to do it because of, you know, everything that happened with the pandemic. And so we're actually trying to, while we have some fun, we're trying to work some of that in. And we're actually here today. This is the first guest in the living room. That's a part of my dream that I have put together because I'm looking forward to having some really deep conversations and helping people accomplish some goals in a group type setting. And so I think it's a very comfortable atmosphere. I'm excited to share this moment. To have the first person in this space with me is a dear friend of mine, Gerard. So guys, we're going to do some virtual programs. I have a Live Bootcamp that's scheduled. I think it's June 30th. Again, go to the website, register. It's $97. It's usually $150. And if you go ahead and register, I told you in the boot camp earlier, in the live post earlier, that it's a money back guarantee. If you decide it's not worth your time, I'll give you back all your money. If you tell me what you think it's worth, then I'll send you back the difference. I believe in it enough to know that it will help you accomplish your goal. I can promise you this. I believe in my heart that this will be, if you have a dream, or if you don't know what your dream is, if you don't know what your passion and purpose is, if you need to work in confidence and learn how to set some goals, this foundational program will help you in every area of your life. And I know, I have the confidence to say that if it's not what you thought it would be, you have nothing to lose. I'll give you back 100% of your money. Wow. So go to the website, ColumbiaBootcamp.com. I'm happy to be able to share this moment again with my partner.
Likewise. Let me just share this before we go. Known Mike a long time. You guys have nothing to worry about. He's going to take care of you. You couldn't be in a better place should you join him. He's a master motivator, master goal setter, and one of my best friends in life in the whole world. When I first met him, I didn't like him. We always tell that story about how we met in Virginia at Fort Lee.
Yeah.
But he ended up being one of the best friends in life. And I just want to tell you on camera with everything that's going on, I love you. I'm proud of you. Join the thing, man. He's doing it. He's going to take care of you. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you, brother. I feel the same. So, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. It feels really good to have some, a dear friend here and saying those things. So, hey, if it's something I can do for you, definitely reach out, send me a message, inbox me, call me. And we do have the gym open as well, so we're leading classes. So take a look at all the products that we have, and we will see you guys soon. We're gonna hang out the rest of the day and have some fun.
That's right.
So we'll be posting pictures and hanging out. So
see if I can get him to do a TikTok.
I know it, right? Fool. All right, guys, we love you. Peace.